Okay, here we are back in Legend Heroes Trails in Reverie, and we need to go into Rean's route to progress, since C and Lloyd are both locked. So here we'll see what he's been up to. And there goes my hope for this being voice acted. Thank you for giving us so much of your time today. I appreciate you helping us attend to the aftermath of recent events. Of course, we wouldn't turn a blind eye after seeing it for ourselves. We feel investigating the coup d'etat further is our responsibility as much as anyone's. We've rounded up most of the people involved by now, though, haven't we? I believe you have. And with Princess Alpha and Elise's assistance, we were able to look into suspicious relatives of fellow students as well. There are some suspects still at large, but it's only a matter of time before they're in custody. I'm so pleased I was able to help. Our classmates seem genuinely shocked to learn what their relatives are up to. Can't say I blame them. I think they could hold off on the crazy now until things calm down in Crossbell. Or the timing's on point since the EDF showed up here too. I would assume they're linked, yes. I've been aware that some in the army were opposed to the ceasefire and subsequent downsizing of the military, but it's frustrating to have not seen the extent of their opposition coming until after they'd made their move. You can't blame yourself for this, Representative. Besides, maybe this works out better. Gives you the chance to take out the obvious trash instead of sniffing it out for yourself. That's true, with so many that confirmed to be in custody, we shouldn't have to worry about the capital for a while now. Plus, the information we got will make it easier for Dad and General Van Dyke to take action. We each have our own burdens to bear here, so it's best to focus on what you can do as the current head of our nation. I'm sure Machias is always doing what he can in Crossbell. Indeed, you've hit the nail on the head. I don't have time to dwell on past mistakes or what I should have done with Crossbell as it is, and the prince and lady still missing. Alright, I think we covered all we can on the coup d'etat problem. Let's turn our focus on the other big issue we need to think about. Rufus. It's not possible for him to be both near the capital and running Crossbell at the same time. So then, who did we see? You said you requested an investigation into that, right, Milliam? Yep, while we were taking care of the coup stuff, it should be about...
My apologies for the delay.
Just the gal we need. What's the word, Claire?
Well, it took longer than I'd hoped, but this information came directly from our sentries near the border. They confirmed that Crossbell's new Supreme Leader never left the state while C was active.
Then he wasn't lying.
Yeah, there really are two Rufuses.
But how is that possible?
It isn't. It's preposterous, even. Or so I would say had we not seen him in the flesh.
He played us enough to be the real thing.
He sure did. First he calls himself C and sets things up so we'd make our way to the capital. Then he gets us to take care of that coup for him, while he gets away with whatever info the EDF provided him.
Using every means at his disposal has always been his way. And this was no exception.
Then are we in agreement that the Rufus in Crossbell isn't the real one?
The evidence seems to point that way at present. Perhaps it is also my hope that it points that way.
I doubt it, since I'm inclined to agree. Rufus acting the way the Supreme Leader does after what he went through doesn't make as much sense to me. You had to have had an effect on him in some way at the Imperial Fortress, Eustace.
I would like to believe that as well. Have you learned anything more about the three children accompanying him?
We're still looking into them, I'm afraid.
I know our side can't talk, but they were strong as hell for being kids.
All I can confirm from my end is that no record of them exists in the Intelligence Division's database. 200 crown for even the ID to pin down means it'll be extra tough for us.
It's best to assume they and whoever was controlling the airship are hired help.
It should have been impossible for your friends to win. Eustace, members of Class 7, please, tell me why.
It's because you refuse to rely on anyone but yourself. We won't be getting anywhere wondering what he's up to here. I propose we move on using the one lead he provided.
If you wish to know what befell the Courageous Two, make for the Nord Highlands.
Do you feel you can trust his word enough to warrant going to the Highlands, Rean?
If anything else, I did get the impression that he is actively against the Supreme Leader. There's likely some ulterior motive behind telling us that lead. But Eustace is right that we should use it. Especially if there's any chance we can help Crossbell in the process.
I'll respect your decision, of course, but...
Some of us will have to remain in the capital. The aftermath of the coup d'etat requires some attention before it can be considered resolved.
I'll stick around for it. May as well see it through. It'd be good to hit up the entertainment district and the Bracer Guild for info while I'm here too.
Gaius is in the middle of an investigation of his own in Nord, I think. There should be enough people if you meet up with him and anyone else who's up east.
Muse is also planning to travel from the branch campus to join him. But will that be enough under the circumstances?
Then will we suffice?
Huh?
Kurt! And...
Hello there again. Sounds like you've been making some headway into the investigation.
About your lead. Since our father is still occupied in the West, we will be accompanying you in his stead. May we Vanders be of great service.
The next morning, Muse arrived as planned from Leaves and reunited with the group. They then waited for the freight train, which Claire had arranged to take them to Nord to depart. We are going to be transferring onto an RMP train partway through the trip. We should hopefully reach Zender Gate around noon. That'll be great, then we can start our investigation right away. Thank you all for coming to see us off. I apologize for showing up so suddenly and creating all this disarray. Not at all, I was glad to have the opportunity to see you again. I'm sure my brother's disappearance must be weighing heavy on your heart too, Lieutenant Colonel. My worries pale in comparison to the heartache you must feel, Your Highness. Rest assured that I will do all I can to put you at ease as soon as possible. Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel. I'm counting on you too, Muse. Of course, I'll take good care of our dear instructor in your and Elise's stead. But don't fret, I won't let my personal feelings get in the way of my work. Is this really the time?
What's wrong? Our group is pretty stacked for this, so I don't think you need to worry.
I am worried, but not about that. We all refrained from voicing our concerns yesterday, but you're not going to take on too much to compensate for what those soldiers said, are you? The ones from the underground.
You're a filthy traitor, Ashen Chevalier! So many of us joined the army to follow in your footsteps, only for you to trample all over our ambitions. You couldn't possibly understand the frustration of those who died in that war, or even those left behind. It's time you took responsibility for your actions.
It's true. Their words did affect me. They reminded me that for some, the war never really ended.
Try to see them as the exception they are.
Exactly. That isn't your fault, Rean.
I know. But it's also not something I can turn a blind eye to. It's only by understanding one another that we will be able to move forward. At least, that's what I think now.
We just don't want to let that consume you.
Everyone in the Imperial Army bears that responsibility, myself included.
None of us here want you to shoulder that burden alone. Isn't that right? Altina? Muse?
Oh, absolutely. Class 7 is and will always be about supporting one another. I think they've echoed my sentiments. Well then, have a safe journey. If there are answers to be found in Nord, then I know you'll find them.
Thanks. Keep us in your thoughts.
The group changed trains as planned and arrived on schedule at the North Highlands. There they found several of their friends already waiting for them. I'm window shopping on the side, so I'm just going to close it so I don't get distracted. Cruel blue skies.
There you are.
Hey, it's Sarah.
I hope the trip wasn't too tiring.
And Emma?
Oh,
And here I thought we'd be getting here first.
we just happened to be on the train right before yours.
I'm glad you all arrived safely. And long time no see, Lieutenant Colonel.
Likewise. It's reassuring to have you with us.
We heard about the attempted coup from Major Revelt. It must have been so hard for you, Rean.
You're kind of worried, but I'm fine. Better than fine now that you're both here. All I have to do is see your face, and it's like my heart feels a little lighter.
Then it was worth it, huh? But there's no river I wouldn't cross to find you if you needed me. Though magic makes it simple enough to skip the river crossing route if there was an emergency. So don't you forget that all you have to do is call, and I'll be right there.
Thanks. I won't.
But boy, I'm still finding it hard to believe we have two Rufuses running around now. I'll cross my fingers the lead from the literal lesser of two evils pays off, but we still need to be smart about our approach.
Agreed. There's no telling what could happen. That's all the more reason why we appreciate your and Lady Mildean's attention to this matter.
Oh, I'm more than happy to give it.
Where's Gaius, by the way?
He's gotten a head start investigating in the Highlands, I believe. A soldier gave us a message saying he intends to convene with us at the settlement.
I see. Then we'll head his way once we've greeted the person in charge here.
I believe he's someone you know?
Colonel Dalton of the 23rd Armored Division, yes. I haven't seen him since his division took stewardship of the gate after the war.
Oh, right. It was the 7th that was in charge of Zender up until last year. The 23rd was one of the new divisions created for the war, wasn't it?
Indeed. With all the changes underway in the army, the 23rd has no general at present. But I hear the colonel's done a stellar job of keeping the division unified in the absence of one.
He sounds like someone who'd more than cooperate with our investigation, at least.
I've already informed him of our arrival. We should go and see him right away.
Listen, Rean. Don't go biting off more than you can chew. Being an instructor doesn't mean you have to be the strong one in the group 24/7. I didn't have to be because you were there for me. So that means you don't have to be because I'll be there for you. At least I'll try to be.
You just get it, don't you? Thank you. That makes me feel a lot better.
Good.
Welcome to Zendergate. I've been looking forward to your arrival. I am Dalton, acting commander of the 23rd Armored Division.
Okay, I'm gonna chime in now. With a name like Dalton, I was definitely hoping he'd have like a belch-like attack, but I'm underwhelmed. It's good to see you again, Colonel. Same to you, Lieutenant Colonel. It's an honor to finally meet the famous Ashen Chevalier. I've heard much about the Lieutenant Colonel's younger brother too. Wish I could have given you all a more formal reputation. Please think nothing of it, sir. Most of us aren't even part of the army, much less deserving of a lavish welcome. I quite agree, and I'm just an inexperienced student. How modest of you all, I appreciate that. He's surprisingly candid for our colonel. He is, although I'm sure he must be very capable to have given command of a whole armor division. Word of the 7th's exploits since the war has reached even here, Lieutenant Colonel. I hear you've been all over the country helping with the reconstruction efforts under Prince Olivert's leadership. What's more, the Vanders have evidently resumed their duty as guardians of the Imperial family. They don't call you the Ace of the 7th for nothing. I apologize if that sounded at all sarcastic. I did not mean it so. Think nothing of it, sir. I will not attempt to deny my past failings. Still, I'm humbled by the honor of serving once more. On the Vander name, I will stop at nothing to prove worthy of it. I feel the same way. Could you tell us what you know about the situation here? Yes, you came looking for clues on the prince's whereabouts. I'm aware that you have reason to believe that there's something here. It's true? The opposite, I'm afraid. This region has been positively idyllic since the war ended. The Highlands did turn into a battleground during the conflict, but everything is back to normal here now. So as they caught off guard by your conviction that something must be here. That's unfortunate. Still, the intel's fresh even now, so it's no surprise that nothing's been found yet. Indeed, I've had a lot of work at the watchtower, so I haven't had much time to investigate this area. In that sense, you might have more luck speaking with the people of the settlement. You may well be correct. Sounds like Gaius is already there, so I'd say our meeting with him should be our first goal. Given the stakes, we intend to fully dedicate ourselves to searching once we have finished getting ready. I've appraised the soldiers stationed at the watchtower what's going on too, so it may be worth stopping by there. Either way, should you learn anything, please do let me know. I will be happy to send reinforcements if needed. Thank you for your kindness and understanding, sir. We greatly appreciate it. Alright, let's get started with the search then. Nord Highlands.
It's breathtaking.
Nothing I've heard could have prepared me for just how truly beautiful it is.
It's your first time here, huh?
It is. I've been really looking forward to it. If only the other 3 could be here to see it. Words don't do it justice.
They really don't. I wish I could have let you first see it under lighter circumstances.
It feels like only yesterday that we came here as part of our field studies.
It's moving to think that this is where our ancestor took up arms to fight at Dreikel's side.
It's held a special place in my heart beyond our ancestry, since our uncle and I were stationed here. Regardless, I will make for the watchtower and set about gathering information there. You should stick to your original plan and reunite with Gaius at the settlement.
I'm alright with that, but...
Are you sure it's wise to go alone? I think it'd be better if I came with you.
I know how capable you are, Kurt, but there's no need to worry about me. As a soldier, I'll have a much easier time operating in a military facility. Should anything happen, however, I will be in touch. Take care.
I hope he's going to be all right.
I imagine that the prince's disappearance must be weighing heavily on him.
I had the chance to briefly speak with him about that on the train, actually.
I wanted to accompany them on their honeymoon, but Olivier insisted I not go.
Okay, I'm chiming in here because for the longest time they called him Olivier, which... If he's doing the French pronunciation, he's doing it correct. It's just, if you didn't... The royal family have German numbers in their names. Dreikels as in 3. Veer as in Olivier for 4. So, that one I could see go either way. It's just the characters are not consistent with how they pronounce it.
I got the impression he wanted to give me some time off to honor the war's end. Of all the times that idiot had to go and put my needs first.
I see. I think you're all worrying a little too much about him. We're talking about one of the finest soldiers in the Imperial Army up there with Lieutenant Colonel Neidhart. You should know him better than anyone that he isn't the kind of man to act rashly in times like these. Yes, I suppose you're right. I'm sure he genuinely believes this to be the best course of action. We'd be wise to mirror his conviction. Yeah, let's get moving. Can't Muse run alongside the horse? Apparently the settlement is currently in the same location it was when Emma and I visited during our field study. If we travel north from here, we should see it before long. We don't want to keep Gaius waiting. So L2 and X to ride the horse, circle to dismount, square changes rider settings. Can't use assault attacks. So you either have to run into them or just get close and push X. No, no, out. So she has 11 evasion. He has 41. Nope. That's the holy symbol I'm looking for. So I'm not going to take that off of him. We can just leave that there and take 48 evade. But the Solemn Buckle goes on her for a little bit of a better bang. Yeah. I got nothing here. Like, I have the Mira, so if I run into somewhere I can probably buy some accessories and then spend some U materials to upgrade them. So we have Thor. Increase damage to enemies with status effects, just a damage amplification, 20% chance to inflict seal, and she does deal bonus break. Now she does come with breath. Bonus damage to enemies and break, so yeah, she can nuke stuff down if need be. She gained 5% evasion. So we get 6 here. Is there something on her gun, maybe? Oh, maybe Thor? No? I don't know. Anyway, we're getting rid of Virgo here. That one's a little tempting. I think Rean has Murakumo. Let me just double check. He has Scold. Okay, Kurt, you're packing Murakumo. Deva. Anyway, she starts with Morgan, as in Morgana Le Fay, I assume. Or Morgan Le Fay. Arts up as HP goes down, starts with a buff, 1 revive. So that used to be what Elisa packed. Not really too much of a fan of that. You're taking Emblem. That one doesn't have any heals associated with it. Virgo is really tempting for the crit. Yeah, we're gonna do sub-Virgo, I think. She has Sirius. I'm just gonna put this on Morgan, just so it keeps leveling up and maybe something good comes out of it. Seriously, Emma? Seriously? She didn't even have a... Oh, no. Mine 2 up here. I was about to say, she didn't come with a mine quartz? So this is where I usually like to put ingenuity. I'm cool with the Albion Wolf. Crescent Mirror. I don't think I have anything better to put here. It's a little tempting to put this one here just to... I do have a Galleon Fort R. So we're going to take this off. Albion Wolf R. I really don't want to lose the EP, but I don't have a choice, it looks like. Albion Wolf R. So I've badmouthed Tyr often in the past, but it's a little tempting here for the Tyr and Tyrol. Oh, I just realized. My god, these guys need so much freaking work, and I just don't have the patience to do it. And then I need a replacement for this one. So yeah, I don't mind replacing this with the break quartz, just so you can contribute more. She's got a break 2. A little tempted to poach the firebolt, but that gives strength, which I'm not really a fan of on Emma. Yeah, I just realized she doesn't have anything for speed. She's at a paltry 61. Yeah, I haven't really replenished much.
Yeah! Amazing. I've never seen plains so vast.
It's like we're afloat in a sea of green. Words can't do justice to its beauty.
We had the same reaction as students.
I like it even more now that there aren't as many monsters as before.
Yeah, the Armored Division's done a bang-up job keeping the Highlands clean. Now we can ride straight through.
Okay, I'm a little excited to see the Rhinocider. Oh, crud. It's angry. Quick, dial 911 when I give you the signal to the other one. Okay, where'd the horse go?
Yeah, let's go.
Yes!
So,
I bet I could buy a whole keg with this. Yeah, let's go.
Yes!
Emma's a better dodge tank than Kurt. His weapon range sucks. I'm kind of thinking when I get Fee, I'll probably just get rid of him entirely. Those were Hypnotoads. Sadly not the same species you'll find on Futurama, but it's close, so that's the thought that counts, right?
Go.
Yes!
Muse is really far behind in terms of level.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes!
Fortitude droplet.
Yay! This is exceptional!
Come on. Use your gun, damn it.
Yeah! Let's go!
Yes!
Ha!
More hypnotoads.
Yeah! Let's go! Ha!
Did I miss something or did it respawn? It's the Rhinocider.
Ha!
Looks like a crop muncher down there.
That structure to the right is the watchtower monitoring Calvard, yes?
Yep. And the plateau on the left has got what they call the Stone Circle.
It's thought to be an old monument from when animism dominated the region.
The more you know.
Yeah! Let's go!
Yes!
Yeah!
Dozen new materials.
Yes!
It's the way of the Stone Circle, that's right. I'd like to visit there eventually, but I think we should meet up with guys to discuss our next move first. You're breaking my heart, game. Use the gun, damn you.
Yeah! Let's go!
Yes! That one isn't...
That thing can drop, I think it's a spear droplet or something, which I think is
Ready
your
to
art
go
defense
whenever.
booster. Spiritual Divine Water.
Guess luck is on our side.
So that was a +5 for the art
Let's
defense.
go!
Yes!
Which, to be honest, was something we needed in the previous game. This one, that just doesn't keep up still. How do we zoom out?
Yeah!
Emma's orbital
Let's
staff
go.
messes that sucker up.
Yes!
Ha! Yeah! Let's go!
Yes!
So we leads to the watchtower. We can leave matters there in my brother's hands. That we can to the settlement people. I want to go fight some more. Ah, Queenie's back. Could go over there and pay her another visit.
We're almost at the settlement. Oh, it feels so great here.
It makes me wish we could keep riding on through forever.
It's a shame we'll have to dismount soon.
It's so nice to see you're both already as much in love with this place as we are.
Ha! Ready to go whenever. Yeah! Let's go!
Yes!
We made it to the settlement.
We did, but
This is my first time seeing yurts.
You would normally see more of them. I wonder what's going on.
Already?
Well, there's Class 7. It's so good to see you all again. How have you been?
Oh,
Is he an acquaintance of yours, Instructor?
I'm not sure that we've met.
Come on, that's not very funny. I know it's been a while, but I knew you from a glance.
Wait, I see it now.
Toma?
You're Gaius' little brother, right? Looks like someone hit his growth spurt.
Did you meet during your field studies?
Yeah. Gaius' family as a whole has been very welcoming whenever we've come to Nord. It's kind of funny to say, but you're getting to be around the age we were on our first visit, huh?
Yeah, that sounds about right. But you really didn't recognize me then? I gotta say, that stings a little.
Sorry, but you honestly do look so much more mature than when we last met. You must be Charl then. You've grown up a lot yourself.
You think? Thank you.
Gaius had mentioned you were coming, but I didn't expect you to arrive so soon after he said it. Speaking of which, you should be coming back soon.
Coming back now, actually. I hope you all had a pleasant journey from the capital. Good to see the winds kept you safe.
Right back at you.
I hope your investigation's been going well.
Sounds like we've arrived at a busy time.
Not at all. Most of the work for moving the settlement has been finished already. But let me make us some tea before we talk any further. You must be tired.
Nord tea is as soothing as I've been told.
It really is. Black tea is relaxing too, but the flavor of these leaves is very distinctive.
I'm glad you approve.
Haven't been able to enjoy a cup of this since your field study.
You tried it then? I would have thought you'd been unable to since you joined near the end of our stay.
That's right. You and Sharon came by to check up on us around the same time. It's weird, the things you forget.
We have plenty more, so please, have as much as you like. It's too bad you weren't here yesterday to try the cheese we made. It was so good.
Cheese or no cheese, you've given us more than enough of a welcome. My travel fatigue is all but gone. It's amazing seeing how much you two have grown since we saw each other. You look like you're taking after your mom, Sheeta.
You really think so? I'm happy to hear that. And you look even cooler, and Emma looks even prettier.
I think so too. Gaius has always kept us up to date on how you've been and the ways you've changed. You've overcome a great many ordeals on the road to where you sit now. It makes me so proud to see the students we've hosted go on to accomplish so many great things.
You're kind to think of us so much.
Thank you for saying so. I hope we can keep making you proud.
And now my pride extends to you two as well. That's just how mothers are.
Did we ever introduce ourselves to you guys? That's our mom, and we're Gaius' little sisters. I'm Sheeta, and she's Lily. Thanks for being bros with our bro.
He's done far more for us than we have for him, I think. I can see Gaius has a truly lovely family. I couldn't be more grateful to have them. That extends to Dad too, even if he couldn't be here. Take it he's out of the establishment right now? Or out of the settlement right now? That's right, he's leading the relocation effort. We're having to move quite a distance too, so we may not be able to see him during the visit. It's a shame, I was hoping to say hi. Still, if you're suddenly having to uproot yourselves and go so far... I take it something significant has happened here? Correct. Upon returning here the other day, I set off to survey the Highlands. Unfortunately, I have yet to find anything that would lead us to the location of Prince Olivert the Courageous too. But I found some unsettling signs in a few easily overlooked areas. Ashes from recently burned firewood and buried remnants of travel rations, for example. In other words, traces of human activity. Yes, and not just one person. I asked Toma to help investigate, and we kept finding the same signs in more and more places. We haven't heard any talk about soldiers doing training exercises in the area recently, so I doubt that's the explanation. No one in the settlement or at Zender Gate claims to have seen any potential suspects either. Regardless of what we're dealing with, we can't risk any harm coming to the people here or our family. So after some discussion, we all decided it would be best to move the settlement earlier than usual. Charlotte and her father have been helping with the move too. We couldn't be more grateful. I'm so sorry all this happened when you and your dad were meant to be on vacation. Please don't worry, I'm just glad to help. Dad might grumble a bit, but he's pitched in regardless. Either way, it's clear something's amiss here, especially considering the timing. It's hard to say if this is what Rufus was referring to, but it's not something we can afford to ignore. When we came here for our field study 2 years ago, we found Jaeger dropouts operating in the area. Perhaps this could be something similar. It's definitely possible. Either way, I decided that I ought to look into it again as soon as you all arrived. I think that's a good idea. We'll join you with all due haste. If the Highlands are threatened in any way, I refuse to turn a blind eye. I quite agree, especially after the people here have served us with such wonderful tea. I will spare no effort for a land connected to my ancestors. Your support means the world, truly. We aren't planning to move just yet, so you are welcome to make this your base of operations. I'll do all that I can to help you in my husband's place. I'd like to believe I'm a lot stronger than I was when we last met, too. So if there's any way I can assist, please let me know. We will, thanks, Toma. Sheeta, Lily, be good while we're away. We will, take care. Come back soon. Where should we begin, then? It's a good question. How about we go and speak with the settlement's other visitor? Oh? She's been here since before I arrived myself. I haven't had much of a chance to speak to her since I've been so busy with the move and investigating. That said, it's someone you all know. Really now? I've yet to see anyone fitting that description around, though. Perhaps she's out at the moment. Someone in my family you may know. Shall we go in and ask them, then? We're getting ready to move. That won't be for a while, though, so please make yourselves at home. You've all done so much for us between what happened during the war and this investigation. I'm worried about the royal couple, but for now, we'll just have to keep doing what we can. That reminds me, there's something I want you to take with you. Spirit incense. Oh my, these are so rare. Thank you so much. It's nothing really. I just want to make sure you all stay safe. Alright, that should be everything. Please take care, everyone. Okay, we'll be off then. Spirit incense, I think, is like a elixir. Just in case you're wondering. Ah, okay, it's a AoE revive and restore type thing. It's not quite the mega elixir that Dragon Incense would be, but I don't think there's really like a good equivalent in a different non-Legend of Heroes game to reference. Anyway, with Gaius in the group, let's take a quick look at his stuff. He has the Tempest. So, as HP goes down, he starts critting more and more, gets Insight at the beginning of battle, and 3% evasion. Sad part is, like, these overlap too much to be a good sub-quartz. He has Dunamis, which I think is useless, yes. Yeah, I'm fine with that being there. Holy Breath R, Defense 2. Why do all the characters come with this damn quartz? You know what? EP Cut 1. That will get you more mileage than that stupid EP3. The only advantage to the EP3 would just be that you get more back percentage-wise. Let's see, I want to try and get this stuff going out with the next move. Hey, are you all heading out? About to, yeah, you're looking awfully busy, Charles. This is nothing. I use this kind of stuff thanks to my work at Zender Gate. My dad's actually the one handling the needed supplies for the settlement's move. We've been working with the people of Nord for years anyway, so he was more than happy to help. I did hear you've been helping Toma with packing and moving. Thank you. You're quite the symbiotic pair now, aren't you? So that's a reference to an earlier mission where I don't remember if they were pen pals or something. It was in Cold Steel 2, I want to say. Well, I have known for years at this point. Looks like they're still going strong. It's cute seeing how smitten she still is. So, yeah. Heard you'd be here for a little while, so I set up that yurt for you to stay in. You'll have plenty of space to sleep inside for your equipment, so it's perfect. Talk about customer service, thanks. We'll make ourselves at home then. So does this have the Orbital Factory? Beds, 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 bingo. So we get the Sunbone Zakura +1. It's only a 100 damage boost, sadly. So I have the Percival +1 equipped already, so this does nothing. Just to show you, that's what's equipped. Wow. So yeah, we kind of neglected Muse a bit. We'll argue that she had it coming. I'll need to remember to equip that on her. Art boost, 100 strength, I'm cool with that. Same thing for Gaius. And Emma's back up here. Not even like a status effect or something to go with it. That's heartbreaking. So we need Vice Coat. So some of these would be nice to get, it's just, I don't know how long this act is going to be for one. For Kurt. It's not going to do anything for giving him more evasion, sadly, but sure, I'll take it. Doing that just to push her over 1,000 base. Okay. Go back to this. Quartz itself. I'll make an action 3 there. If these just offered a little bit more, I'd be more eager to use them. If you notice, each attack one doubles, but the strength just goes up by increments of 2, which annoys me. I can use one of these probably. So, I'll go to Customize. We can get the Petrified too. Crystal Edge. I'm getting this just so I have it, I guess. I don't know. Tira's Super Rare. Shield 2, I don't really care for that one. I've made that perfectly clear by now, I hope. Okay, we're still a little short on that one. This wouldn't be bad on someone who doesn't have an impede skill. But yeah, I'll have to look and see if there's a market or something where I can buy a couple things. Okay, now she can kind of keep up. Kind of, sort of. Just looking around who I want to give the break quartz to, and we have Kurt. Hi everyone. It's been a long time since I got to play with everyone that came here that one time to study, but I also want to play with all the new people too. Is that branch campus place fun? Oh, do you know that the new Armored Vision people, what are they like? First one's definitely referring to the branch campus, and for the other one, do you mean the 23rd Armored Division? Yeah, them. I got to meet lots of people from the 3rd and 7th ones. But now a new soldier family has moved in, I want to get to know our neighbors. I understand how you feel, Lily, but I'm sure they're plenty busy even with the war over.
It's been a while since I was last here. Feels so empty without all the yurts.
Well, once we're back to normal, you'd better pay us a visit. Your students are welcome too, of course.
I wouldn't miss a chance to come back here.
Sounds like you had a pretty busy day. I was just about to go draw some water if you want some. I would actually thank you. By the way, I noticed you have something of a warrior's posture. Have you trained in Nord spearmanship, perhaps? Yeah, guys and our dad have actually been hammering it into me for a while. I'd still call myself a beginner, though. Nowhere near ready to take on large games, so I've got plenty more practicing to go if I want to keep my family safe. You use 2 blades to fight, don't you, Kurt? So just like your ancestor, Roland Vander. I've got a long way to go until I'm anywhere close to being like him, so I'd say we've both got a lot to learn. But I remember hearing that Roland perfected the dual blade style while dueling against the people of Nord. I'm sure I could learn a lot in a match against you. Would you be up for it? Would I? I'd love that. Great, let's hope we'll have the chance to do that soon, then. It's nice seeing them get so motivated by each other, huh? I'll say, glad to see my brother's found himself a new friend, too. I'll be leaving the settlement for a while. Hope I can count on you to watch over while I'm gone. Getting kind of worried. Maybe I should ask for help. Something wrong, Cheetah? I was just thinking of speaking to all of you. Our other visitor left the settlement this morning, but she hasn't been back since. Guys was just telling us about her. Did she go out into the Highlands? Yes, she said something about wanting to take photographs before she left. She also said not to worry about her since we were all busy with the move. Even so, I'm getting anxious. Hope she doesn't do anything too dangerous. The situation suddenly starting to seem all too familiar. Yeah, it's the exact situation we went through with Norton from the Imperial Chronicle a few years ago. Really? Wonder if this visitor could be. Anyway, it sounds like we should go and check up on her. Assume she set off to the north? Yes, that's right. I'm not sure how far she could have gone. Let us ride out and look for her, then. You can now access the Nord Highlands north. Sounds like she went up north of the settlement. She hasn't been back since this morning, so if you could go check on her, that'd be a big help. Here we go. So, yeah. So that's a 140 point boost for Rean. Wonder why only these two. Oh, so Kurt can use this. That's weird. Losing on 70 defense, but I think that's kind of worth it for Rean. I'm not so sold on Emma, though. Guys can move 15 spaces, jeez. I don't even know what all these turn into. I'm just grabbing stuff so I can make accessories. So we get the spicy kebab recipe. Like, she's not even marked as a store. If I didn't talk to her because I came back here wanting to sleep, I never would have noticed. But yeah, I don't know where we find the armors for these. It's gonna suck that's supposed to be like ultimate armor. Ah, so I can't even do that here. That's even worse.
Right, let's go.
Ready when you are.
Ha!
I see the northern part of the Highlands is just as beautiful as its southern counterpart. Indeed, though it also looks more dangerous with all the steep cliffs. Look at that. So that's the other giant statue like the one on Brioni Island. Yes, that's right. This was the Lost Zem, the Septarian of Earth. Meanwhile, the one on Brioni Island was Arc Rouge, the Septarian of Fire. As you're aware, both have long since lost their power, leaving them as mere shells. I had no idea when I first saw it during our field study that it had such a history. It's hard to believe that the Divine Knights originated from them. Shall we start looking then? Can't imagine our visitor could have gone far without a horse. I'm inclined to agree. Hopefully this will be a quick search. We have 342 materials still. Rean one-shot those with Gale. The entire 6-man group.
Yeah, let's go. Yes.
Okay, I got to scan the small one, but... I got to scan the big one. The small one died again real fast. Okay, got to scan that one.
Yeah, let's go. Yes.
Gale's almost enough to kill all of those, too. Okay, Muse's caught up in level almost.
Yeah, let's go. Yes.
I'm tempted to show that fight just to show you how fast that fish died. I still haven't gotten the chance to scan it just because it dies that fast. Okay, that time I got it. Had to go to extra lengths to get it, but we got it.
Yeah, let's go. Yes.
So I just want to travel the periphery and make sure we're not missing any chests like that one. Miscellaneous healing items.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes!
Ha!
This place is so expansive that I don't even know where to begin to look.
Do you see that big statue? It's called the Guardian. It would be a nice start, I think.
Not a bad idea. We can branch out into a full search from there.
Okay, this one looks bigger than the other ones. Let's go say hi.
With strength like that.
Okay, I got a dozen new materials from that fight. It's still strange to me that that's not hyperbole or anything. But what's important is we did get 3 magic droplets. So that's probably the best giant monster I've had the opportunity to fight to date. So Bluster is going to be good on a Windcaster, like Ellie, for instance.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes!
Either those guys have better than normally evade, or my team just can't land a hit to save their lives at times. Just status bomb those guys into oblivion. Hey, Queen Toad.
Looks tough.
13 U materials. I'm over 400 now.
Oh, nothing like the rush of finding an unopened treasure chest.
True Awakening Headband. Lots of evade, lots of crit. So now he should dodge half the stuff thrown at him.
Go!
Yes!
As it turns out, Emma can also work those things over.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes!
Whoa there.
I know I have a detection course. I wonder if it's on Altina or something.
I don't think that chest belongs to anyone.
Ixion Volt Super Rare. I don't know if I have something comparable for Ellie or not.
Yeah,
Once again, that's for
go.
a
Yes.
full-blown magic user.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes!
Serum powder.
Yay! This is exceptional!
Yeah. Let's go!
Yes!
There's nothing back there.
Whoa there.
Dang it, just walk along the ledge, woman.
There's a treasure chest right over there.
Silvery watch, speed.
Yeah, let's go!
Yes!
Ha! Ha!
I'm gonna try approaching from the other side. Like, I don't know what the event is all going to entail, so I'd rather just dodge it, I think. This area should be circular, so if there's any loot on the other side, we're about to pick it up. 6 more U material. Times like this, I really miss the motorcycle. I think it was faster than the horse.
I'm so drawn to that chest.
I'm sure people say that to Emma all the time, too. Diamond Nova's super rare.
Yeah, let's go!
Yes!
What's the biggest fight I can string together here?
What a brute!
Not exaggerating, I got 22 U materials off that.
I don't think that chest belongs to anyone.
Mercurial Ultra Rare has 6% evade built into it. I don't think I have a big enough win slot for Kurt, so I can't use that yet.
Ready to go whenever. Yeah, let's go!
So yeah, just for the 22 U materials, I'm kind of glad I came over here. Wasn't sure if there was something hidden in there.
Yeah, let's go!
Yes!
Ha!
Dang it.
Yeah, let's go!
Yes!
So there's a point of interest up here.
Ha!
Looks tough.
19 U materials. I'm almost at 500. fishing spot?
For the bite.
Crap.
Nice.
Is that a rockhead?
Well, it's not bad.
Puffer. Curia Balm. Notebook is over here. So would have dropped a Curia Balm if I had gotten the bigger one. Let's give it another shot, shall we?
For the bite. It got away. For the bite. Nice.
Ah, it's a red perch. Oh well.
It's a whopper.
It needs to cough up a lot more than 30 sepith for it to be worth my while.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes!
It just seems weird to me that I can one-shot those.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes!
Ha!
Have I gone over there yet?
Ha!
Like, I can't tell if stuff is spawning in behind me or what's going on.
They don't call this one of the Highlands' most famous sites for nothing. Talk about statuesque. Literally. Maybe I'll start a listicle of the Empire's best views when I get back to the office.
Isn't that... Is that you, Grace?
Oh, there you are. I've been waiting for you, Class 7. And you, Divine Blade. Congrats on the upgrade from Ashen Chevalier.
Gaius said there was another visitor, but he kept Who a surprise. So it was you.
I was just as surprised to find her in Nord, believe me.
How did you make it to the Empire with Crossbell occupied?
The only way I could have. I wasn't in Crossbell when the occupation went down. Around just before the ceremony started, I got an interesting lead through the Orbal net. So I left coverage of the actual signing to the others and jumped on the next train to Erebonia. Thinking on it now, I'm honestly not sure if I'd call that good or bad luck.
I can imagine.
This must all be very hard for you.
It is. But I've never been one for sitting around sulking when life throws me a curveball. There's gotta be a role for me to play in sorting all this out. The best thing I can do is get out there and take action. I wouldn't be much of a journalist or a crossbellin if I didn't.
That's the Grace we all know so well. Yeah, I mean, Lloyd and Randy are made of tough stuff, and then there's Grace. People in Crossbell really are built different. So what's this lead you're talking about? It's gotta be something big for you to leave a historic moment like the signing ceremony for someone else to cover. It absolutely is. It was a report that Prince Olafert and his wife had gone missing during their honeymoon, the courageous two and all. I had a feeling it would involve that. We're actually here following the same case. On a tip, too, no less. Guessing the fact that you're here in Nord, of all places, means you found some clue to their whereabouts. That's right, although it's only circumstantial evidence at this point. There's a report that suspicious people clad in black resided in the area where the royals went for their honeymoon. You don't think? The Yevon Defense Force? I bet 1,000 mira on it. Then there's an unconfirmed report that the EDF were sighted in Nord before and after the Courageous Two's disappearance. I'm here following up on both leads. So the terrorists who occupied Crossbell and took up arms against the Empire were potentially responsible here too. I found no evidence that they were hiding here, or had been in the past yesterday, though. I couldn't find anything either. If they really were here, they're clearly good at covering their tracks. But there's no smoke without fire. There's clearly something here in the Highlands. Though I have to admit I'm basing at least part of that conviction on my reporter's instincts. Hey, when your gut talks, we'd be fools not to listen. I'd quite agree. The likelihood that what happened in Crossbell and the Prince's disappearance are connected is higher than ever now. Thanks for sharing what you know, Grace. It really helped. Just wish I had some solid conclusive evidence to give you. All I can do is wish you well with the rest of your investigation. I'm convinced that solving this case will lead you to a way to liberate Crossbell. So get out there and give him hell, Class 7. If you're asking, who are we to refuse? The group then escorted Grace back to the settlement on horseback. Once assured of her safety, they were then able to resume the investigation. Sounding like we should go around the southern part of the Highlands, too. Indeed, that area seems less likely given that it has military facilities. But the truth could have been under our noses all along. I think it's still worth looking there. Speaking of the military, I wonder how the Lieutenant Colonel's investigation is going. Come to think, he said he was going to ask around at the watchtower, didn't he? Maybe we should contact him and compare notes. Could you give him a call, Kurt? Of course. I can't get through. That's strange. The watchtower should definitely be in range from here. Perhaps he's somewhere else further away, or in an area with poor reception. If only we could use the round of 7, then this wouldn't be an issue. It's frustrating, but there's no point in dwelling on it. We'll just have to explore the Southern Highlands while making for the watchtower ourselves. I think you're right. Hopefully we'll be reunited with my brother before long. I'd like to have a closer look at the stone circle and the triangular rock that we passed on the way here, too. Shall we depart, then? Allow me to lead the way. You can now access North Highland South. Let's talk. Do feed Zio for me. Thanks, Lily. You're welcome. It's fun when I get to help you. Besides, you always take Zio with you when you leave, so I want to hang out with him as much as I can. Zio says you've been to lots of places with your friends from school, but he especially likes a place called the Art Area. Must be really colorful. I wonder if Zio likes how the wind feels there. Should be surprised she understands Zio just as well as you do. Maybe it runs in their bloodline. Possibly, then again, Zio has been watching over the settlement ever since Lily was a baby. There we go. Oh, Gaius is not translating for us this time. I feel pretty bad about worrying the settlement. Anyway, I'm totally pooped from all that horseback riding, so don't mind me, I'm gonna take it easy. Feel me if you find any good info. I'm so glad Grace is okay. I'm sorry if this is rude to say about an adult, but Grace is like danger walking, isn't she? You can't afford to take your eyes off her. But she's a guest here, so it's not that I mind watching over her. You sound pretty stressed over it. Oh no, I can handle this, no problem. Her being a reporter does remind me, though. Not too long after the war, Norton actually came back to the settlement to get her perspective on everything that happened. There was this time that he was in support of the war, but he had no clue why when he looked back on it. So he said writing articles about the horrors of war would be his way of repenting for it. Then he got an invite from someone named Nielsen, so he's reporting in another country now. It's nice that his sparks come back. I remember Norton. He was so fired up about getting good photographs during our field study. He also came and took a look at our communications equipment when it was broken. I remember Nielsen too. Hope we'll run into him again one day. And we'll probably run into them in Calvert, don't worry. Peek in the Worzel home. Welcome back, my dears. I take it your investigation's proceeding smoothly. Are you making dinner already? Yes, I know it's a bit early, but I thought I'd make a special effort since you're all here. Got some meat stewing with herbs from the Highlands, so you can look forward to that. Mine must be one of the traditional Nord dishes I've heard so much about, I can hardly wait. Me neither. Let's finish up what's left of our investigation so we can get back and tuck in. I found something that must belong to someone while tidying up the yurt. I think it might be the hammer Amir used to repair the fencing. Do you think it might be okay if I put it with today's baggage? Didn't his name actually have an I in it? I don't remember. That should be fine, thanks, Charles. We'll probably need it for the sheep's fencing, so I'll bring it over later today. About our food stockpile. Look at them go, they're perfectly in sync. They do make for a perfect couple, don't they? Charles' father was stubborn at first, but he eventually came around on Toma. It's great to hear. How long have you all been staying here? Is it just me, or are you guys watching us? My, perish the thought. To be young again. Does anyone else feel like someone is gazing longingly at you, or is it just me? Anyway, you'll be exploring the Highlands, right? I'll make sure you got a place to stay while I prep for the move, so don't worry about a thing, okay? I've been studying the many traditions of Nord. It's been the perfect chance to get to know Toma better. Let's go south.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes!
Isn't this... The mirror is glowing, but feels like something is happening. Once everyone's done talking in the Reverie corridor, I'm putting a break in. What's happening? What is this light?
A new thread of destiny has been spun. Your path to where all may gather has been paved.
Where are we? I don't know. Nor do I. Did some sort of spell transport us here? Wait. I can't seem to recall what I was just doing. It's as though I've been struck with amnesia. Can't remember what we were doing just now either. Neither can I. Rufus? Ren? And another familiar face. Eustace? Just what is going on here? My, it's Tita, the Triple S, and the students of Thor's. Talk about a surprising sight. Do you know all of them? I've never met a single one. Not exactly, though I do recognize some of them. I think the two on the left are Imperial Army. Why is the former Governor General here? Thought Araboni had you imprisoned. Your guess is as good as mine, I'm afraid. Feel like I've seen those kids with him recently, but I can't put my finger on it. Guess that's another thing we're not allowed to remember. Nothing Garden does is by accident. There must be a good reason they were brought here. Still, I never imagined to see you here, Ren. Nor did I think this is how we'd next meet, though I can't say I'm not happy to see you. I'll say what a blessing it is to have so many angels gathered in one place. I feel like I'm in heaven all over it again. What did I do to deserve such utter bliss? What? Easy now. Trying to process all this is starting to give me a headache. Assuming this isn't some elaborate trap, would you care to explain what's going on? So a portion of this place shares the same name with the space that appeared under Thor's 2 years ago. Yet, from what you've explored thus far, it's almost entirely different. Cannot fathom why I chose to summon our group as well. That clears up some questions, but it's still difficult to accept this as reality. Let me get this straight, the mirror is what brought us here? So cool, I've always wanted to journey inside a looking glass. At least someone here isn't having any trouble accepting the situation. That's simplifying it a little, but not inaccurate. So it is. I undoubtedly wouldn't accept it if it weren't not plainly in front of me. I have no choice but to accept what's happening and falls outside of the realm of common sense. Though I can't say it pleases me to be at the whim of this black mirror. Now you know what it's like to be kept under someone's thumb for once. Talk about a taste of your own medicine. My recent memory may be addled, but I know well enough I have plenty to say to you, Rufus. I ask you to grant me the time to do so later. Yeah, you two must have a lot to talk about. Can't imagine it's going to be a very happy family reunion. Very well, when the time comes. Fate has dealt me an unexpected hand, but I will accept it nonetheless. So he's Rufus's brother, huh? Seems like it, though the relationship is complicated from the sound of it. Actually, I feel like we've already had this conversation recently. That memory altering stuff is no joke. Must be to prevent us from knowing anything that'd change our behavior. Never imagined we run into him of all people here. Me neither. Wish we knew something about what Rufus and his companions are doing before coming here. It must be important. Like I said, there are no coincidences when it comes to the garden. There must be a reason they were called here now. Definitely. If it means that all of the pieces have come together, then... Thought so. Something's happening.
New information available for all visitors. Confirming completion of a new stratum. Permissions now granted to enter the Reverie Corridor's second stratum.
Said the second stratum. That means we can finally explore further in the Reverie Corridor. I'm still adjusting to our predicament, but it helps to have an obvious goal in mind. Still a point in dwelling on it when so many of our memories are missing. I'll take this place up on its offer to refine my skills and better achieve the goals waiting for me on the outside. Although accepting my cooperation may be more difficult for some of you than others, isn't that right, Special Support Section? We're all in the same boat while we're here. I think it would be better to work together. Agreed. Hope you're ready to pull your weight, Rufus. Same to you. So we can do pretty much whatever we want in here. I can think of a few ways to have fun. Can you both please behave? There are a few things I'd like to confirm while we're here. Whether any of us are asked to explore the Reverie Corridor or not, I think it'd be wise to survey our surroundings and prepare. Let's temporarily part ways. I trust you three to handle yourselves without me. Got it. Bye for now, Rufus. So what should we do now? We hardly know anyone here. Should we go around and say hi? I think we should behave a bit more cautiously than that. I want to confirm for myself how secure this location is first, but one thing's for sure. We're surrounded by skilled warriors. Being too trusting here could prove fatal. Let's follow Rufus' advice first. We should familiarize ourselves with our surroundings. We can consider exploring this Reverie Corridor after that. But I want you both to stay close to me, alright? Yes, sir. A leisurely stroll it is. Okay, this garden state changed. You can now explore this Reverie Garden as Swin. I don't know what the significance of that is. You can now access the second stratum. Mini missions are now available. So they're generated at random, that sucks. List of missions refresh every time you range the corridor or return to the real world. They give you phantasmal shards, which you can collect for upgrades. Be proactive, yada yada. Items Mira Sepith of Rufus' team has been added to the pool. Additional characters now be recruited via Sealing Stones. Wazy and Kia can now offer assistance. Tio can offer assistance. Tita and Agate can now assist. Crow can assist. Emma and Sarah can assist. Gaius will assist. Rufus, Lapis, Swin, and Nadia will now assist. And with that, I need to take a much-needed break. So let's actually cash out these quests, and then
Central core
I'll
activated.
call it a video. So I didn't do that one. Didn't do that. So that sucks that it's specific between Ellie and Yuna. Elise would be fairly easy. Against enemies, and that's actually not that bad. Gives you 4 Azure droplets too. So, okay, here we go. 200 wins. So we get 100 elements. Formidable foes versus Lloyd. So 10 wins with Lloyd in the party. 10 with Rean. We still have more to go with Rufus. 50 S-crafts. 15 weapon enhancements. We're close to 110 with everyone. Link level 5 achieved. Link level 6 achieved. Link level 7 is close. Level 8 Master Quartz achieved. That gives you a Zerum powder too. 500 U material. 12 unique fish gives us a new hook. So I think that's it. We can also
Confirming
report
rank points
this. We actually do have just barely enough to get
Liberation
Kagura.
rank changed. Transferring rank reward.
So yeah, I'm good to...
New contents available.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about spending these now. We'll do this at the end of the next video, so I'm going to call it quits here. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.